Hey everyone, my name is Sydney Oprita and I just want to get the chance to come on here and introduce you to myself. I've always wanted to start a beauty YouTube channel and I'm finally doing it, so I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in many more videos to come. And if you like this look and what you see, just keep watching. Okay, so we're starting off with the Evian misting spray, and then after that we're going to go in with the Drunk Elephant hydration gel. This stuff is seriously a lifesaver for my skin in the winter. Oh my goodness, if you don't have it, get it. Okay, now for primer. This is the YSL Blur Primer. I just started using it and I love it. It's got little gold flecks in it and it makes me feel all bougie. Okay, so now for foundation. This is the Makeup Forever HD foundation and I believe I'm in the shade Y255. And clearly it does not match my skin tone right now. This is actually my summer shade, but that's okay. We're going to make it work. So I'm just taking my beauty blender and blending it out. I like to do the little dots prior to blending because I feel like it just spreads everything out a little bit better. And then once I go in with the damp beauty blender, it picks up any extra product. Okay, so now for concealer, I'm using the Urban Decay Naked Concealer. I'm in the shade Light Neutral. This is probably like my 10th bottle, not kidding. I use it so often, but it's awesome. So I'm placing the concealer on the areas of my face that I want to be highlighted. So that would be underneath the eye, a little bit of the forehead, the bridge of the nose, and the chin. And then what I do with the excess is I kind of just dab it onto my eyelids because I like to use it as a primer for the eyeshadow. And then to set this so we get no creasing, I'm going to go in with the Laurent Mercier setting powder. I've gone through quite a bit of these too, I really like this product. So I'm doing it underneath the eyes, again over the eyelids for no creasing. And then what I end up doing is kind of just spreading it over my whole face because it makes a nice base before you go in with contours or bronzers, whatever it may be, to blend that out. Now we're moving on to contouring. For this, I'm going to be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills. It's the powder palette. I'm using just this little mini brush. I think I got it in like a benefit kit or something, but it works so well for a nice contour line. So I'm just following my natural cheekbone and I'm bringing it down, not all the way to the corner of the mouth, but ever so slightly. And then I kind of use a wiping motion to brush it upwards. And to get this shade I'm using, I just combined all three colors from the dark row of this palette. Makes a nice little mix. And now I'm just going in and contouring my chin a little bit so it looks a little bit more cut. And then I'm going to bring it down my neck because no one likes a double chin, so let's get rid of that. And then after that, I'm just going to dab it on my forehead in the corners to make the forehead appear smaller. And then we're going to use the middle shade of this palette for my nose contour. And I'm just using this little mini brush that I found at TJ Maxx. And I'm pretty sure it's like a knockoff of the Artiste brushes. As I bring it down towards the bottom of my nose, I'm kind of making it smaller, so I'm bringing it inner because I don't like how wide my nose is at the bottom. And then we're just going to blend everything out using the Morphe M439 brush. Now I'm just going in with this little Morphe blending brush. I actually had the end break off of it, so it's just the little metal part, but hey, it still works just as good, and I love it to blend out my nose contour. Oh, doing a little jig. Must have liked the music. And now I'm just going back in with that same Laura Mercier setting powder that we used before to bake my face. This will just clean everything up a little bit if we lost anything throughout the blend. This will give us a nice cut look on our cheekbones, our nose, our chin, and then it'll just brighten up the forehead a little bit more, and also the under eye area so we don't lose that brightness. I'm packing on the shade Tempera from the Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, and then I'm going in with a MAC 217 brush, and I picked up the shade Beaches and Cream from the Manny MUA palette, and I'm just doing this in a little halo fashion around the eye, and then I do the same with the color Burnt Orange from the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm focusing on the corners, packing it on the inner and outer corners, kind of for a halo effect, and then ever so slightly doing the same thing in the middle, but with a lighter hand. Now I'm using the orangest of orange shade from the Morphe and Jaclyn Hill collaboration palette. I seriously die for this color. I use it almost every day and I've totally hit pan. I love it so much. So I'm just doing that same motion, blending it out. And then I'm taking a Morphe E13 brush just to kind of blend away all the harsh lines. And now I'm taking a little precision brush by Morphe. It's the M507, and I'm using that same orange shade to just pack it in there. I wanted to make it a little more dense and give this look a little more depth, which is why I'm using this precision brush. And now I'm picking up the shade Realgar, I think it's pronounced, from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette again, and this is just bringing a little bit more depth again to the look. It's a deeper orange than the one we were using before. With the same motion, just packing it in the corners, and then using that windshield wiper motion in the center. Then I'm blending that out just a little bit more, going back to the MAC 217 brush, getting rid of harsh lines once again. And now I'm using a mixture of the red ochre, I think it's called, I don't know, I'm butchering these names, and then the Mars shade from the Manny MUA palette. This is just kind of creating a little bit of a deep red color. I love this look. I love warm tones so much. And then once again, just flipping back and forth between the brushes, making sure that it's very smooth and there's no harsh lines. And now I'm just picking up that Mars shade from the Manny MUA palette. And let me clarify, when I say Manny MUA palette, I mean the one that he did with Makeup Geek. Once again, just blending until my hand falls off. Now I'm just going in with my finger and I'm packing on the shade Tempera from the Modern Renaissance palette to brighten up that middle, just in case we lost any of it throughout all the blending we did with all the orange tones. And then I'm topping that off with the shade Vermeer. And then I added also a little bit of Primavera. Then I dipped my brush into the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, and then I popped it into a pigment called Gold Digger, and it's from a company called Smolder Cosmetics. I then went in with an even lighter pigment titled White Gold to brighten that center up even more. It's again one of the loose pigments from Smolder Cosmetics. I went back and picked up my Morphe E36 and I grabbed the shade Primavera from the Modern Renaissance palette just to even out that harsh line that the pigment may have created. I then went back in one last time with that Mars shade to just blend everything out. Then picking up that same Morphe pencil brush we've been using, I dipped my brush into that super orange shade in the Jaclyn Hill Morphe palette and just rub that along the bottom of my eyes. Taking a small precision MAC brush, I dip my brush into the Mars shade and I just get really close to the lash line, and then I blend it out once again with my Morphe pencil brush with a little bit of that orange shade on it. This way we're really smoking out that bottom lash line to look flawless. For liner, I am going in with the Kat Von D ink liner, and it's in the shade Trooper. I love this liner. It has a nice felt tip. It gives you a lot of control for precision. A lot of people like her other one that has a brush tip, but I just think it's a little bit too flimsy. I prefer this one. I like to do just a very thin line along the lash line, and then when I'm creating the wing, I go off of, if my under eye were to extend upward, I just follow that line to make a small line, and then I drag it inward, and then I fill in whatever needs to be filled in. Moving on to filling in Z-brows. So what I use is the Brow Powder Duo in medium brown, and I use the lighter shade to pretty much fill in all of my eyebrows. And then the only time that I use the darker shade in it is to fill in the sparseness. To just clean up and fill in the end of my brows a little bit more, I go in with the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade medium brown. and just create little strokes to look like hair. And then off camera, I just threw on some mascara on my top and bottom lashes, and I coated the top lashes twice using the L'Oreal Telescopic Carbon Black Mascara. I go in with Hoola Bronzer, and I'm using a Morphe M527 brush. And I'm also going to take down my neck to blend everything out, just so I match my face. Now taking my Morphe E3 brush, I'm just dipping that into Benefit's Coralista blush and popping it on my cheeks. As you can see, I'm super excited about this palette. The Becca x Jaclyn Hill palette. I seriously live off of this thing. I could not use Prosecco Pop or Champagne Pop more if I tried. So I'm just popping both of those shades together, mixing it around, and popping that on the high points of my cheekbones, my nose, and then also my Cupid's bow. Going back in with our precision pencil brush, I'm picking up Prosecco Pop, and I'm going to highlight my brow bone with that, and then also place that in my inner corner to give it a little bit of a pop. We are almost finished. Now we're moving on to the lips, and to start off with moisturizing with jojoba oil, and then we are taking the Makeup Forever lip liner in the shade 14C. I'm just lining the upper part of my lip following my natural lip line, and then I'm just going to blot that onto my bottom lip and then fill in my bottom line a little bit more. And then a little trick that I like to do is I like to also put the lip liner in the center of my lips because it creates a little bit of an illusion that your lips are bigger than they actually are. I'm then applying the Anastasia Beverly Hills liquid lipstick in the shade Allison all over my lips. And then after I was looking at it, I decided that I think I wanted a little bit of a ombre effect. So I also went in and grabbed the Too Faced Melted Liquid Lip in the shade Peony and just popped that in the center of my lips and blotted them together. So here it is. This is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any ideas that you would like me to do for upcoming videos, please put them in the comment section below. Remember to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video.